Welcome to the bold analysis. I have relooked at the roles between Musalia Mudavadi and Kithure Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua. And my conclusion is Musalia Mudavadi will find himself in the middle of nowhere because President Ruto tricked Mudavadi. And it was a high game trickery. I don't know whether Mudavadi will have a way to come out of it. That is going to be what we're going to look at in this video. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. And if you are an expert in matters governance or law, and you are willing to give us an exclusive interview, especially on this issue, I'm willing. Please get to the comment section and also get our number. WhatsApp me so that we can plan. Because the roles are actually clashing. I want to look at it, and there is that which is here I want us to look at. The roles announced by the president seek to bring clarity to the office of Gachagua and see him chair cabinet committees, oversee implementation of cabinet decisions across all governments, ministries, and state departments. He will also coordinate, this is Gachagua, coordinate planning and supervise implementation of development partners funded projects, and of course he's also a principal assistant to the president. Now, I want you to look at this. Mudavadi is to assist the president and deputy president in coordination and supervision of government projects. So the fact that is Mudavadi an principal assistant to the president and deputy president? So when the president is not there, who can act in the capacity of the president is his deputy. What exactly is this representation? As in, what exactly is this planning? Is he going to be a messenger? I really wanted to know that. Now, it continues to say that Mudavadi will work in liaison with the Interior and National Administration Ministry to oversee implementation of government policies and projects. Let me tell you, these two roles of overseeing the Mudavadi's roles I just explained with the English that is twisted between Mudavadi and Gachagua. Then, let me tell you the trick. Under the Interior Ministry that was led by Matiang'i, there was internal security and coordination of national government. So what Ruto did is, after he actually gave Kithure Kindiki the whole ministry, the Interior Security Ministry, but Kindiki is only given the roles on internal security. And remember, this is a ministry that will have state departments that will be led by PS, permanent secretaries. So there are permanent secretaries that will work under Kithure Kindiki on internal security. Then coordination of national government is being handed over to Musalia Mudavadi. So you ask yourself, how many offices will Mudavadi be dangling? I'm going to answer your question, where he'll be. So what is new? The other bit is just the English. Now, Musalia Mudavadi's position is a rank above cabinet secretaries. As now, I think what President Ruto did is to make it look like Mudavadi is above. But honestly, he seems to be dangling between. And there is no difference between him and Raphael Tuju, who was a minister without portfolio. I'm using the wrong example. Now, if the prime cabinet slot wasn't created, the roles assigned to that office will be executed by the deputy president. And actually, they will be executed by the deputy president. I don't see that synergy because, first, when this information about this controversy emerged, there's a possibility of, are they going to work together? Is it possible? William Ruto wanted them to share the same office with Rigathi Gachagua. And we understand that that is not going to be, and he might actually go to work with Kithure Kindiki. This is because of the bossy aspect. Perhaps that was to be done in the spirit of sharing resources, but that is not it. Yes. There is a point I want to bring, which according to many is what creates the difference between the two ministries. And I looked at it that there is an analyst who say the titles are different, but the roles are the same. And that's what I was saying. The titles of cabinet, and it's overseeing, coordinating, but the roles are the same. There is nothing really specific to each of the two offices. If anything, you cannot put a finger on what Mudavadi is supposed to do without the signal from Gachagua. That was Mr. Nyamori, who is a political analyst and lawyer, saying. So this is it, I will try to borrow a leaf. I will try to borrow a leaf from President Uhuru Kenyatta when he actually did it. And there is what is exclusive on the role of Musalia Mudavadi is that he is going to coordinate with the government ministries on the legislative agenda. Now, this is, I think, let's do an explainer on this, the way I understand it. And of course, I've been trying to do some peer research, talking to people about it. How government works is there is a policy, maybe perhaps on taxation, that they want to go to parliament. So from the cabinet, and of course, there is no decision that Mudavadi can make himself. From the cabinet, the executive, after coming up with the framework of that policy, they call the majority leader in the National Assembly. Then that is given to majority leader, and that is the way it gets to the parliament. Now, if you say that Mudavadi will be on that legislative agenda, will be coordinating the legislative agenda of the government in parliament, then number one, it only shows that maybe Mudavadi is going to be frequently in parliament to answer questions, and maybe in media to talk about government. That would be strategic enough to cover Rigathi Gachagua, because William Ruto knows very well that Rigathi Gachagua is full of those errors, so he would want that. But then I question, in the previous administration, who was playing that role? No one. So is Musalia Mudavadi a messenger between the office of president, deputy, and that of Kithure Kindiki, because he's also in liaison with Kithure Kindiki? Then on the other end, from cabinet, it is Musalia Mudavadi to carry the legislative frameworks and policies to Kimani Ichung'wah to advance in the National Assembly. Don't you see that, if you ask me, this is more of it's more of a coordinative, it's more of an assistive role. And if William Ruto, I think, wanted to help Mudavadi, honestly, they would have given him just a cabinet, that prime whatever, but with a cabinet slot, so that it's not a replica of, they were trying to get the replica of Raila Odinga's prime minister of the 2012 and 2013, 2013, 2012. But that was already, it was in the national accord, power sharing deal between Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta and President the former President Mwai Kibaki. So that national accord actually stipulated what were the roles of Raila and Mwai Kibaki. And remember, even at that point, in that government, there are a lot of push and pull between the two sides, between Raila, Kalonzo, and Mwai Kibaki, who was powerful. That is what we are yet to see. And I can promise you, in the fullness of time, Mudavadi will get in the middle of nowhere. Because this is not a very conducive environment. In fact, he is a man that is surrounded by all sorts of enemies. And I say this, there is this clause that is here that within 30, according to power sharing, according to Kenya Kwanza agreement, within 30 days following the general election, the Commission shall introduce parliament legislation that shall provide a greater legal clarity on the position, the roles and functions of Prime Cabinet Secretary. So, because this position is supposed to be created by an executive order, does the executive order also give the president leeway to give these roles? And in fact, are they legally binding? You know, there is what is in the constitution on the role of the president, and these are the different ministries. Even the president can dangle with them and remove one and add one and merge. That's allowed. But if you read the position is created, I'm wondering, why is there a legislation in parliament over the same? Are we really trying to institutionalize that position of Prime Cabinet Secretary so that it becomes part of the package moving forward? Not that only in this election, but even 2027, it creates an office of the Prime Minister. If you ask me, Ruto is simply trying to implement BBI indirectly and is trying now to go the parliament way. Because when they were actually opposing BBI, they insisted, the point was that BBI could be implemented through the parliamentary way. Instead, but isn't this also expanding the executive? It's a pertinent question that you can ask depending on whether you want to. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want to point out something. That let's borrow a leaf from President Ruto, President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he elevated the Super CS Matiang'i. Of course, he was coordinating the other government ministries, but there was a value addition on the Big Four agenda. He was sitting at the Big Four agenda. Whether Uhuru achieved the Big Four agenda or not is also subject to your own understanding. But there was a value addition on that position. And now that's what I ask. Some of these roles that Musalia Mudavadi are given, whether to support Kindiki or principal assistant to president and deputy, what is the value addition to the taxpayers? Aren't we just overstretching our wage bill? Because the roles that are given to Mudavadi are roles that still can be done by the office of deputy president and even that interior. So do we have just a pseudo position known as prime cabinet secretary? It's something, and I think that's also the question that people need to know. As much as there is political expediency and rewarding loyalty and all that, but I think that's why I insist that President Ruto needed to give Musalia Mudavadi a post, even he's going to coordinate, but it should have value addition, not just bloating and duplication of roles. That is it. I'm saying this because I am seeing a backlash. Mudavadi, Gachagua, Kindiki, and even William Ruto. This is the problem. Gachagua and Kindiki are potentially William Ruto's successors. And they see Musalia Mudavadi as a threat. So if Musalia Mudavadi gets the powers, because to go to parliament, if he's going to take this legislative agenda and he will become so much prominent talking about the government in parliament, or let's just say the more Musalia Mudavadi wields power, he becomes a threat to those two gentlemen. William Ruto is on record saying that after they're done with their term with Gachagua, Kindiki is ready to take over. But then between Kindiki and Gachagua, you've planted them Musalia Mudavadi. Who is going to help the son of Mudamba? Who's going to help the son of Mudamba? Because this is not it. The other stormy issue that is in this arrangement is because who is the spokesperson of the conjoined roles? So we have Interior Ministry. Are we saying that Kindiki is going to talk about police reforms? Then Musalia Mudavadi speaks about coordination of government projects. So when the Ministry of Interior is giving a presser, who is in charge? Or who speaks after who? You know, at the end of the day, we are saying Mudavadi is more senior than the other ministers. So in the Ministry of Interior, so Mudavadi is supposed to speak, is supposed to be more senior. But in the same ministry, he can only speak about coordination of national governments, while Kindiki is speaking about internal security. Is it going to work out? And if there is a problem in this country, the African setup kuna shida na ukubwa kwamba mimi ndio boss. It created issues in this country between Raila Kalonzo and Mwai Kibaki. So I am seeing that becoming an issue because maybe the office of the deputy president may want to say something, and they have another person who is now Mudavadi who is supposed to, who speaks on behalf of those conjoined ministries. Who speaks on behalf of that? It's a question. But then I feel Mudavadi is lacking backup in parliament. Mudavadi is lacking backup in parliament. That is it. I have seen Didmas Baraza. They are on Ruto's side, praising Ruto all through. He did not get members of parliament from Western, does not have the numbers. He's also blamed behind the scenes to have not brought the votes that maybe was anticipated. And if you ask me, he's been pushed to the periphery as Moses Wetangula is being embraced so that Ruto will lock in the Mungoma who will help the son of Mdava. I repeat that if I am Mudavadi, because again he has been forced to relocate, he might not even now work with Gachagua. He has now to go perhaps work with Kindiki another office. If I am Mudavadi, as earlier as this thing is heading to parliament, he should start calling William Ruto, do this, get me a ministry, even create that devolution, put it. But that devolution has been taken to the office of Rigathi Gachagua as deputy president. Mudavadi should be given a ministry. What are your thoughts, guys?